the difference between a candidate that gets 6.5 in the speaking test and the one that gets about 8.5. The difference lies in the mistakes that they avoid. That's why in today's video, we'll be looking at 5 IELTS speaking test mistakes and how you can avoid them. Hi, my name is Efe Akibe, a one-time IELTS invigilator with British Council of Nigeria. And currently, this is my channel, IELTS with Efe, where I've made it my life's mission to help you succeed in the IELTS test. And let's get right away into today's video. The first mistake would be having some misconceptions about the speaking test. And over time, I've noticed 3 common misconceptions candidates have about the speaking test, and we'll be addressing them right away. The first misconception is the IELTS test is too easy. I don't have to prepare for it. True, I get it. We speak English every day. If you are in an English-speaking country, you communicate in English, you are taught in English, you do everything with English. So what's the speaking test you have to prepare for? You put all your attention on the writing test, on the reading test, on the listening test, and ignore the speaking test. See, the speaking test requires enough attention, just like the other 3 tests. I understand it is the shortest. It lasts for only 11 to 15 minutes. But yes, that short time, it's very crucial and you have to prepare for it. So ignoring or underrating the speaking test is one mistake candidates make. The IELTS speaking test, it's more challenging than it appears because it assesses multiple language skills simultaneously. You're assessed in 4 skills: your fluency and coherence, your lexical resources, which is your vocabulary, your grammatical structures, and your pronunciation. So these are things you need to practice. Let me explain what these 4 speaking test criteria mean. Fluency and coherence. Fluency refers to your ability to keep speaking without unnecessary pauses or hesitation, while coherence focuses on how logically you arrange your ideas or how your ideas are connected while you are speaking. Secondly, lexical resources, which refers to your range of vocabulary you use when you are speaking. If you use a wide range of vocabulary, you get a higher band. And if you use a low range of vocabulary, you get a lower band. Also, your grammatical range or accuracy. This refers to your grammatical structures and how accurately you use them. Lastly, your pronunciation. How clearly do you articulate English sounds? How well do you pronounce? So you see, these things are being assessed as you speak, and you have to practice and practice to get better in each of these areas so you can do well in your speaking test. So that thought of the speaking test is so easy, I don't need to prepare, it's very short. Please, please, and please, let's stop that mistake today. We're just another misconception, which is I need to have an accent to get high score. I totally understand. You're taking the IELTS test because you want to go to the white man's land, UK, Canada, with a lot of white there. So you think you have to speak like them during your speaking test. No. Learn to use your natural accent and vocabulary. The speaking test assesses your conversational English skills and not your accent. Yes, it's important for you to speak clearly, but not forming a specific accent. Okay? So you don't need an accent to pass the IELTS test. Instead, you focus on pronouncing your words clearly and focus on being understood. That's what matters. You understood, you're speaking clearly. You don't need to have an accent to pass the IELTS test. And the last misconception we'll be addressing today is negative emotions or attitude towards the examiner. A lot of people, before you come to the test, you're already feeling like the examiner is there to fail you. The examiner is there to trick you with some funny questions. And some people are so afraid of the examiner. If you have this attitude, it might affect you during your speaking test. Okay, see, understand that the examiners want to genuinely assess your communication skills. They do not know you before, so they do not intentionally want to fail you. Okay, and don't see it as an interrogation. It's not a job interview. It's a conversation. Imagine you meet a stranger for the first time in a wedding, and you guys just start discussing. That's the way you should picture your IELTS examiner. And for those who are so scared, you're afraid of the examiner, you don't have to. They are humans, or they are humans like you and I. They are from your own country. They are not white people. Somebody has asked me before if the examiners are white people. White people, okay, we bring them to the country. No, they are like you and I. They are male and female. So they may be younger than you, they may be older than you. If you're from Nigeria, they are Nigerians. If you're from Ghana, they are Ghanaians. If you're from India, they are Indians like you. So you don't have to be afraid of your examiner. Talking about fear too, if the examiner asks you a question that you do not understand or you did not hear clearly, there's nothing wrong in asking the examiner, please come again. Sorry, I didn't get that. Can you please repeat yourself? It's nothing wrong. So don't be so scared of your examiner, and also don't have the mindset that the examiner hates me, the examiner wants to fail me, the examiner wants to trick me with some questions. So this attitude, this mindset about the IELTS speaking examiner might affect you during your speaking test. So you need to address it before your test day. Now we've addressed these 3 misconceptions about: 1, the speaking test is too easy, I don't need to prepare for it. Secondly, I need to form an accent, I need to speak like the whites. And third is the examiner, the attitude towards the examiner, either fear or we call it anger. We need to address these 3 misconceptions internally as we prepare for the speaking test. And let's move on to the second mistake. Also, learn to practice deep breathing. I know you might be anxious. It's still an exam at the end of the day. You're being tested, and this exam determines a lot of things in your future. So it's normal to be nervous. So when you're nervous in an exam or in front of the examiner, practice deep breathing. What I did during my test is this: when the examiner is talking and asking me a question, I'll be taking in deep breaths like this. It could be so silent, the person in front don't know you're taking deep breaths. So when he finished talking and it's my time to talk, I must have calmed myself internally. So it's normal to be nervous, but practicing deep breaths while the examiner is asking you a question, it can help. And also, it's normal to make a mistake. It's okay to make a mistake. You're human, you're not perfect. It's okay to make a mistake. And if you know you made a mistake, you can correct yourself. If you use the wrong grammar or a wrong tense, at the spot there, correct yourself and move on, and don't dwell on it, okay? And also, I've had people come up to the exam hall and say, the examiner was just stopping me. He was just stopping me when I was talking. See, the exam is very timed. The examiner has a stop clock in front of him or her, and the exam is to last for 11 to 15 minutes. So when they ask you a question and you are exceeding the time, they are going to stop you, not because they don't like you, not because they want to fail you, it's because your exam is timed. If they leave you, you'll be in the hall for 1 hour, for 35 minutes. So when they stop you, it's not out of they don't like you, okay? Every mindset of the examiner does not like me, the examiner hates me, the examiner is trying to trick me. No, they don't know you. They don't. In fact, once you leave that test room, they may not even remember you. Seriously, so don't put much emphasis on having a wrong attitude or a wrong mindset towards the examiner. Now, taking care of all these misconceptions, you're not gonna underrate the speaking test anymore. You're gonna give it its due attention and prepare for it. You're not gonna try and form an accent to speak like the white people, sweet, 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 sweet. No, you're gonna speak naturally, clearly, the way you've been speaking before. And also, you're not going to hate your examiner. You're not going to be afraid of the examiner. Be confident, look them in the eyes, and speak and answer your questions confidently. Okay, now that we're done with these misconceptions, I've wasted time on these ones. Let's move on to the second mistake IELTS candidates make during the IELTS test: giving short answers. When you give a short response, it limits your opportunity to demonstrate your language skills. But when you elaborate your responses, it shows fluency, it shows depth. So you have to aim for quality over quantity. Yes, give short answer doesn't mean you say 2 words and that's all. Give a good number of responses when you are asked a question. Provide relevant answers, and you can even give examples to support what you are saying. Okay? And once again, it's normal for the examiner to stop you when he feels your time is over. Okay? I think it's even good when you talk, and the examiner stops you. It shows you're doing well, so prepare to be stopped by the examiner. Let's take an example of what a short answer looks like. Okay, so if you're asked, what is your hobby? And you say, my hobby is football. Your answer is too short. We can't, my hobby is football. That's just 4 or 5 words. We can't assess your grammar. We can't assess your pronunciation in just 5 words. We can't assess your fluency or your coherence in just 5 words. But let's try a more longer answer for what is your hobby. My hobby is football. I play football mostly on Wednesday evenings and Sunday afternoon with a local team. I also play tennis and squash when I can, but I don't really get that time to do them every week. That's a longer answer than just saying I play football. Now we're giving what we do, also explain when we do it, as well as other things we also like to do. And that's a longer and better answer than just saying I play football. And let's go to the next mistake number 3, and that will be using memorized answers. Some students try to memorize answers to all possible questions an IELTS speaking examiner can ask. But how are you going to know what question you're going to be asked? If you memorize how to answer, do you work or study, and you're not being asked, tell me about your hometown, what will not happen? Moreover, how many things can you memorize? You're bound to forget something. If I've done recitation as a child and you have to recite a Bible verse, when you forget something, either a chapter or something, you'll just be frozen. That's what can happen to you if you try to memorize answers for your speaking test. And see, these examiners are trained. They would know when you are speaking from memory. Your speaking test should be conversational. Speak freely, speak whatever comes to your mind. You cannot memorize all the questions that will be asked in the test. It is a waste of time. Note that the skill being tested during the speaking test is your flexibility in speaking, not recitation. Just like to memorize answers to questions, why not practice lots of questions? What I used to do is I would take my voice recorder and take a question and I'll record my answer. When I'm done, I'll play it. Like, oh, I can do better. I'll record it again till I feel like I've gotten something quality. Then I go to another question and keep on practicing. But here's the thing, that was a good method, but it was just me, myself, and I. No other person could evaluate my mistakes or correct me or give me a constructive feedback. That is why I'm going to be helping those people who would love someone to do a role play with them. I wished I had that during my speaking test. I wish I had someone I could do a role play with. That's why if you need someone to do a role play with you, I am here. Shoot me an email at ieltswithfa@gmail.com. We'll look at our calendars and fix a meeting over Zoom or Microsoft Teams, and we can do a replay. I can ask you some questions, you can give me your answers, like you will give a real IELTS examiner, and I will give you my honest, constructive feedback so you can do better. Whatever I can to help you excel in your IELTS test, I'm here for you. So don't memorize answers. Instead, practice giving answers to various questions and maybe just one of them might come in your test. Since you have done it before in practice, it will be easy to just give the answer to the examiner. Before we go to the fourth mistake, please do well to subscribe to my YouTube channel and share the video to anyone you think it will be of use to. Give the video a thumbs up so YouTube knows that it was a good video. So fourthly, the fourth mistake, it will be to avoid repetition as well as irrelevant information. I know we shouldn't speak too short, so we should speak a good number of words. We're going to be repeating ourselves during those words. It's like quantity over quality. We want to focus on quality instead of quantity. And also, don't give irrelevant answers. Okay, if you are asked, do you work or study? Yes, I do. I work with, I do this at work. I love my job because of this. Focus on the answer you're to give. Not saying, at work, my colleagues did this. At work, my colleagues, going off topic and talking about your colleagues or your manager or what happened at work. It's simple. Do you work or study? Focus on the question you are being asked. And talking about repetition, try to also avoid using filler words. What are filler words? All these when you are speaking, some people do it even unconsciously. When you are speaking and you are tempted to use a filler word, until you just keep quiet, collect your thoughts, and continue speaking. There's even nothing wrong in asking the examiner, can you give me some minutes can I have a moment to gather my thoughts? There's nothing wrong in that. You can converse with the speaking test to that extent. If you ask the question and you need to, you can have a moment to gather my thoughts. And when you start speaking, try and avoid repetition, avoid going in circles, avoid irrelevant information, avoid the use of filler words. Okay? And to avoid these things, you need to improve your vocabulary arsenal. And you can do this by reading newspapers, watching the news. If you say a word you do not understand, you can check the dictionary. I think I did a video on how you can improve your vocabulary, and I'll link it up here. So there are different ways to improve your vocabulary. Because vocabulary arsenal is large, you will not be talking in circles and repeating yourself. In my next video, I'm teaching about how you can expand your answers. So when you are speaking and giving answers, you can speak for a longer time instead of repeating yourself. So we're looking at how you can expand your answers during the speaking test in my next video. Now to the last mistake, focusing too much on grammar. I understand you want to impress the examiner, you want to speak big words so they know that your grammar is deep. But when you focus on grammar, the other three aspects that is being checked might suffer. Your fluency and coherence. You're thinking of the grammar to speak, so it may affect your fluency. Your vocabulary. Because you want to use that big word, you may use it wrongly, in the wrong way, and also pronunciation. Because you want to focus on that grammar, you must use that grammar you have memorized. You want to impress the examiner. You might not pronounce it well, and that may lead to mispronunciation. So yes, using big grammars is good, but we need not to focus so much on it because the other three areas of our speaking test might suffer. So instead, what you should do is to learn vocabularies that are particular to different areas. For example, when it comes to sports, there's vocabularies that go with sports, like hiking, like having a coach, like practice. When you focus so much on grammar, you might make the mistake of using the word incorrectly. So instead, what you should do is to learn vocabulary by topic, not just by cramming or memorizing every big word you see. This will provide context and help you to organize words by topics. Okay, there are different topics the speaking test can focus on. So pick at these topics of the IELTS speaking test, posting the task to, and learn the vocabularies that pertains to each of these topics. That way, if you are being asked a particular topic during your speaking test, you know the vocabularies to use than focusing on just learning big words to impress the examiner. I hope as you prepare for your test, and for your speaking test, you keep these things in mind and avoid these mistakes during your speaking test. I hope you found value in this video, and don't forget to shoot me an email at ieltswithf@gmail.com if you want a speaking partner to do a role play with you. I'm here for you. I wish you good luck in your IELTS test, and I'll see you in my next video.